Next up, the Diddler. What's going on YouTube, man? It's your boy the Captain. We got Sean Combs, aka Public Enemy Numero Uno, a Gotham level threat, a Dragon Ball level villain. He's a super villain if you're not getting what I'm saying. Let's get to it.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. I want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him and what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs.
How long did she say these freak-offs were?
These hours and days-long...
Hours, days worth of freaking... Unc Shannon said it best. 90 seconds. 60 to 90 seconds is all one needs. Yeah. Not Mr. Sean Diddy Combs. He needs hours. He needs days worth of freaking. He's like a vampire trying to get his blood. He's like hungry for the freak off. He's hungry for the freak off.
Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs.
Freak-offs.
And he often electronically recorded them.
Prosecutors say Combs punched and kicked his victims to try to keep them under control. He'd also, they say, filled them up with drugs like ketamine and ecstasy for long periods of times, even using incriminating records to try to manipulate his victims.
Wow.
Prosecutors say they discovered this wide range of evidence against Combs in several raids. They found things, they say, like AR-15s, narcotics, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants.
Spin that shit back.
AR-15s, narcotics, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants.
How many bottles of baby oils and lubricants? You've got 1,000 bottles of baby oil, right? Well, give or take, thousands of bottles of baby oil / lubricants. You're in the same spot as Diddy. All of this drug paraphernalia. Y'all might as well call it Diddy paraphernalia. 1,000 bottles of baby oil? In what practical sense? There's not one person on this planet other than Sean Combs that can give me a reason in which one needs 1,000 bottles of baby oil / lubricant. Not one. Not one. He was hosting those freak-offs. Yeah. He was giving those people ecstasy to do what he wanted. Check his computer. Check his hard drive. Check what you need. Do not release it to the public, because I have a suspicious feeling that some of your favorite people are in there. A lot of some of your and my favorite people are in those freak-offs. We called them Diddy parties. We called them Diddy parties. He called them freak-offs. He took it a step above what we was already calling. Imagine being a part of Diddy's clique, and you do like some bad shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you break a fucking rule or something, and then here comes Diddy all fucking baby oiled up and shit with an AR-15 loaded. Baby oil across the shoulders like Rambo.
So you already know what time it is.
Nah, can't even freaking do it. Can't even do it. A day's worth of freaking off.
To note here that an attorney for Combs says that he, I'm quoting here, will fight this with all of his energy. His team is already planning to appeal the bail ruling, meaning they will be back in court tomorrow, as Combs has, as we mentioned, pleaded not guilty. We've got team coverage, Laura Jarrett standing by with the legal analysis piece of it. But I want to start outside court with Julia Ainsley, because Julia, this went fairly late into the day. I know you've been at the courthouse as a judge, as we've just learned, is denying this request for bail. Explain why that is and what else we've learned today.
Yeah, that's right. We were in there for about 2 hours as the Justice Department from the Southern District of New York laid out their case, very similar to what you saw in the indictment, saying why he should not be released, because they say that he is a flight risk, he could leave the country, and also that he has a history of obstructing justice. They also pointed to how serious these crimes were, that with previous allegations of sex trafficking like R. Kelly and Jeffrey Epstein, the judges also denied bail in that case. But his defense laid out a
racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation to engage in and you guys say that he has a history of getting witnesses off or bribing witnesses. Yeah, he did that shit, man. He did it.
very lengthy rebuttal to all of that. We heard them say that this is different from Jeffrey Epstein and R. Kelly because there are no minors being alleged in the indictment here. They also say that these acts were consensual, and they point to victim number one, who's named over and over again, who they say is someone within a 10-year relationship with Combs that was toxic but consensual. They said that this person actually tried to sell this same story as book rights to Combs to try to get it out of the media's eye, but instead when he refused, then this civil lawsuit came up. But the judge ultimately said that he could not be released because he is a danger, he has a history of substance abuse and anger issues, and she really drilled down on the fact that after those civil allegations came out last November, he talked to multiple women who he knew during that period, and who he apparently tried to change their narrative so they wouldn't go forward and continue testifying or being witnesses to some of these acts that were alleged in the civil complaint and then were again put in the indictment today. And so she said in order to keep that from happening and really to end sex trafficking, since that can happen behind closed doors, it was best to keep him detained without bond.
Yeah, it is.
Julia, it is, I think for a lot of folks, they will find this stunning considering that Diddy, right, Sean Combs, has been previously one of the most successful music superstars in the world. Just a year ago, he was handed a key to New York City. Now here we are, after months of this being out in the public, these allegations being made public, his denials, he's potentially facing 15 years to life in prison. What does the timeline look like here?
15 to life.
Well, we understand that tomorrow they'll try to appeal the judge's decision. His defense will do that tomorrow at 3:30. They'll meet again next week for a conference, and then perhaps we'll be looking at a trial early next year. But Hallie, I have to say what you said there was also striking. I mean, I watched him today sitting there very humbly in court in a black T-shirt, nodding along with his defense, otherwise just looking very stoic, straight ahead at the judge. It's hard to imagine this is the same man, but the timeline is also staggering.
November 2023, Cassie sues for trafficking and abuse, then settles. 2 more women sue for abuse. December 2023. This is the next month. Another woman sues saying he her when she was 17 years old. February, I'm assuming that this is 2024. Producer Lil Rod sues saying he pressured him to engaging in acts with and witnessed Combs others. Wow. So he's got some Bill Cosby / Cardi B shit going on there. And then these other 2 is some R. Kelly shit. Well, I don't think I could throw R. Kelly. Actually, maybe. Fuck. March, federal agents raid his home in LA and in Miami. California, Florida. Got it. April, lawsuits alleges Combs and his sons assaulted another woman. May, another woman accuses Combs of assault. Hotel security footage comes out showing Combs beating Cassie in 2016. Combs posts a public apology. I saw that video. That shit was wild. Wednesday, Don Richards sues for psychological and physical abuse. No, that was Wednesday. My bad. Wednesday. I can't read. And then Monday, arrested. Is today Monday? No, today's Tuesday. He was arrested yesterday for abuse. So that means that their appeal was today, 6 hours ago. I need to know if bro is out of jail or not. Because what the fuck? Dude, the allegations, I'm just saying, just like Cat Williams said, man, people don't come out saying the same thing about you over and over and over and over again without something being true. People just don't coerce stories. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, some people do, but you're telling me multiple, like 50 people are saying that they're victims? 50 people just ain't about to make up the same story. That's miss me with that shit.
It's one thing to think, oh, that was something that happened a long time ago. But the prosecution today said that these acts, what they're calling sex trafficking and coercion, all continued up until this year, Hallie, and started as far back as 2009. So this was not a brief window.
2009.
Julia Ainsley live for us there outside court in New York. Can you just give a sense really quickly, Julia, before I let you go? Is it just a scene there? I mean, I have to imagine, given who Sean Combs is, it is just a crush of cameras, a crush of people.
It is. It's been really crowded today, and there have been people who've been driving by, sometimes screaming, "Free Diddy." Someone else stood up earlier and said, "Tupac."
Nah. You roll past the courtroom, you know who this man is. Almost anybody who follows rap music or any type of, music that people around, not people around, but who Diddy has produced or how Diddy has put on people, screaming "Free Diddy" at this moment, passing the courtroom knowing he tried to flee. Yeah, you need to go and check his hard drives too, or her hard drive, whoever it was. You need to go check their hard drive as well. You need to go and see if they've been invited to one of these Diddy parties. My bad, freak offs. They're called freak offs. And you know what's crazy about the freak off thing? Because they says hours through days. Even if you missed the first part of the freak off, you might catch the back end days later. Cat Williams said this year, a lot of people were getting exposed. A lot of people are getting exposed this year. Yeah. Diddy, you're next. And I personally think Diddy is like just the tip of the iceberg. To me personally, I think he's the tip of the iceberg. He's just the tip of the iceberg. Those videos he has, pictures he has, all that is going to be brought up in court. I don't know if they're going to play these videos. I don't know if they're going to show these pictures. But whoever he has on those tapes and pictures, all that's going to come out. All that's going to come out. They're comparing him to villains like Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein had an entire island for this. Diddy's got a mansion. All right, this is wild. This is wild work. Wild.
Would be ashamed of Diddy. It's been a lot of people, a lot of public interest here. I will say the court wasn't as crowded as I thought, but still nearly full, and also full of his friends and family who came out.
Of course.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news.
Thanks for holding. I appreciate you for staying by. But hold on, check me out here before y'all bounce out. I went to go watch another video on this Diddy situation. They set his bond at $50 million.